Hey guys, there we go. All right, starting Instagram. And you'll probably need to, everybody who's out there, just kind of explain it, because people are going to be like, oh my God, is there breaking news? Why are you live? And that'll be happening the entire show. So if you want, feel free to just kind of jump in and go, no, he has to go to the Greek embassy and schmooze Greeks. Schmooze Greeks. Start live video? Oh, we're doing that again. All right. This is being difficult. Wrong video. Nice. There we go. All right. Weird, but okay. Go live. All right. I'm trying to, man. Okay, there it is. All right. Sorry. My Substack, or my Substack wasn't starting, but it looks like it's starting now. A little weird. Hopefully it's the right one. I have no idea. Anyway. Well, we'll see. Substack is trying to connect. I don't know. All right, guys. See, this is what happens. I do this at the wrong time, and everything gets hinky. All right. Well, Substack may or may not. It's trying to go live. It's not doing well, but it's trying. I don't know why. I did update my Substack, though, so it should be correct. It says I'm live. All right. Now, my live... Oh, there we go. It's live. Okay, that worked. All right. Good. Phew. Now TikTok. No, I'm going live on TikTok now. TikTok's last. I start you guys in a row and then do TikTok. TikTok is literally blinking. 3, 2, 1. All right, TikTok. Switch the camera. All right, TikTok is live. Woo! Yay! We're here. It worked. Yay! Good. TikTok's working. You can go over there if you want. All right. Hey, guys. Oh, hey, TikTok. Hey, Substackers. Some of you guys did show up. All right. I'm early today. Again? The dog is in this mood to go in and out, in and out, in and out. Fine, go out again. It's nice weather, so she's kind of wanting to go out there. Anyway. Oh, man. Crazy day. Busy day. Oh, my God. So, yes, I'm early today. I didn't have a choice. Going to the Greek embassy for it's Greek Independence Day. Independence from the Turks, who occupied Greece for 400 years. Because somebody asked me, independence from who? Which is actually a good question, because it is true, like, right? Everybody had independence from somebody, but different people. But that's pretty early tonight, so I had to do this show pretty early so I could get there in time. Anyway, yeah, so we're good. There's a lot of news. I was like kind of losing my mind a little bit there, but there's a ton of news, so we're good. As always, actually, we're going to do this for about an hour. I'm going to quit at 4 o'clock, so I have enough time to get ready. Otherwise, keep the gifts coming. You guys know how this works. I appreciate your support. And we will get rolling. So I'm going to keep an eye out for the dog, because she's like, I think she's just hunting for food. Literally every 10 minutes, she's like, let me in the balcony. I'm like, all right. He's on a major food hunt today. So the Iran stuff, oh, God, he's such a liar. You know, people were tweeting the other night. I think it was 2 nights ago. Thank you, Brady. And they were tweeting, and they were saying, you know, things are bad when Trump says something, and we're waiting for the Iranians to weigh in to find the truth, right? The idea that we would trust the mullahs in Iran more than we would trust the president of the United States for things they say, but that's where we are now. Trump's been lying about everything, guys. He's been trying to manipulate the market. Well, he's certainly, let me put it this way. He's trying to manipulate the markets at the very least, because he doesn't want, he doesn't want the market doing poorly. Okay, come on in again. Come on. Here you go. Come on in. Come. There you go. All right. And my poor dog doesn't see very well anymore either, so it's hard for her to come in. I feel bad. Hard for her to come in and out, but it's okay. So she's going to be doing this a lot tonight, coming in and out, because that's what she's been doing today. Trump has been lying a lot. He's trying to manipulate the markets because he's getting worried about, oil prices going up and energy prices going up, and the stock market especially. So he keeps giving these like lies towards the end of the day so the market calms down, and then at night we find out it's bullshit. He did it again yesterday. Okay, yesterday I've got my notes. I'm jumping ahead, but I don't care. Remember yesterday afternoon? Iran gave us a huge gift. Oh my God, the gift. If I could tell you what the gift was, you'd be amazed the gift Iran gave me. Donald Trump says. These negotiations are going so well. The gift they gave, but I can't tell you because that would ruin things. Yeah, guess what the gift was? We already knew what the gift was because it happened hours before. The gift was Iran letting a few tankers go through the Strait of Hormuz. Remember yesterday afternoon when Iran let a few tankers go through the Strait of Hormuz and we said, oh, that's interesting. You know, they're letting a few friendly countries go through the tank. That was it. The news already knew that Iran let a few tankers go through the Strait of Hormuz. Trump then, 3 hours later, said, there's a huge gift coming from Iran. I can't tell you. It's so big, but it shows you how well the negotiations are going. He was lying. Lying in the sense that he was pretending there was something else coming so that the market would do well, right? So that the market would do well. And he lied. And he lied. Drives me absolutely up the wall. And we believe it, and the markets believed it, right? Oh, it's going so well. Listen to this. So Trump claims the negotiations are going great. Listen to this. Iran responds and goes, no, they're not. Right? Trump said, oh, they're doing so well. Thank you, Blue. And Iran's like, no, we haven't agreed yet. We're not even close to agreement. Iran has demanded closure of U.S. bases in the Gulf, the end of all sanctions, the end of the Israeli campaign against Hezbollah, and a framework that it would allow it to collect fees from ships transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Iran wants to own the Strait. I mean, okay, somebody had pointed yesterday, and they were right. Iran does control half of the water in the Strait of Hormuz. Oman controls, I think, the other half. But there is in the law, we'd call it an easement. It's basically an international right of passage that any international ship has the right to go through the Strait of Hormuz, even though it's Omani and Irani waters. They can't stop them. They can't charge them a toll. They can't do anything. So Trump... the Iranians responded and said, we want to be able to charge a fee to anybody going through the Strait of Hormuz. In other words, Iran now controls it for the rest of time eternal. And all U.S. bases are removed from the Middle East. These are not good things that Iran is doing. They are not a sign that, oh, these negotiations are going really well. Axios reports, U.S. officials say the Iranian government is in chaos and is having trouble communicating within itself. The uncertain condition of the new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, adds to the confusion about who is empowered to make decisions. It is also unclear who purportedly made those commitments on behalf of Iran. The regime has previously rejected many of the U.S. demands, and Israeli intelligence believes there's still a gap between the U.S. and Iranian positions. So Axios says, you know, Trump is saying he's having these great negotiations. It's not really clear who he's having the negotiations with. You know, it's not really clear who he's negotiating with because it's not clear who runs Iran right now, and it's not clear if the people Trump is talking to are even the people in charge. Surprise, surprise, right? Surprise. What else we got? Nancy Mace. This was interesting too. Nancy Mace is a pain in the ass Republican congresswoman. But real pain in the ass, not a moderate really, she's just a pain in the ass. And she goes to a briefing today, administration briefing on the war. Again, solid Republican congresswoman, but she's spoken out about Epstein and things like that. She's got this weird, well, on abuse, but she's got this sometimes independent streak, sometimes. She goes to the administration's, I guess, Defense Department briefing today for members of Congress about the war. She walks out of the briefing and says this, let me repeat, I will not, just walked out of a House Armed Services briefing on Iran. Let me repeat, I will not support troops on the ground in Iran, even more so after this briefing. A Republican member of Congress, who's a Trump supporter, just came out of a briefing about the war and how it's going. She said, even more so after this briefing, I am dead set against troops on the ground, especially after this briefing. Here's the thing. That means the briefing she got about the war, a couple of possibilities, none of them good. She did not get a good briefing about the war. She was not told, oh, Iran's lost. We've won this. It's only a matter of time and it's great. Oil prices are going back down. She was not told that. If she was told that, she would not come out of the briefing and say, I'm even more convinced after this briefing, we better not put troops on the ground. Why would you be putting troops on the ground if the briefing was how good things were, how the war is about to end? Trump is right. The negotiations are going great, right? You would come out of the briefing and say, I am reassured. You wouldn't say, this briefing convinced me that we better not put groups on the ground. The reason this briefing would convince you that we better not put boots on the ground is because the briefing was horrible. The briefing showed you the war is not going well. At its most generous, my most generous analysis is the briefing was not about a ground invasion. The briefing was about how the war is going, and the briefing was it's going terribly, right? That is my most generous interpretation of her comment, so that she came out and said, I was told how bad things are going. They better not be thinking of boots on the ground. Boots on the ground means a ground invasion of Iran. Means tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of troops, horrible stuff. The worst interpretation is that she got a briefing about boots on the ground, that she got a briefing that said things are going so poorly that we may not have a choice in terms of reopening the Strait of Hormuz. We may not have a choice but to do a ground invasion and invade. I mean, this is not good. This is not good at all, because she let it slip, basically. And she wasn't supposed to let it slip, but she let slip that the briefing was not good at all. Boy, TikTok's driving me crazy. TikTok has some AI that is supposed to help me during the show. And I kid you not, after every single person, it's telling me, Mary is a longtime watcher and rising star. Give her a shout out. Mo US is a longtime watcher and star. Give her a shout out. Martha's a longtime. Almost every single one of you, it's putting this whole line after you, telling me to give you a shout out. But I kid you not, it's like every other person. And I'm ready to because you guys can see how many comments I'm getting. Every other comment is TikTok's AI telling me to shout out to you. And I'm like, stop it. Stop it. Oh my God, it's horrible. Rosie, Les, Tanya, I kid you not, this is how many of you. Diego, Chris, User, Phelonx, Mo. I mean, literally, it's almost every other person. Stop it. Okay, I'm trying to ignore it, but it's making it hard to even read the comments on TikTok. Wow, that's really fucked up. It's not every other comment. It's every comment with some skipping. Yeah. That is so weird. Yeah, you give a shout out to me, Aileen. Thank you. No, I wish I could turn off I don't think I can turn off the AI. I'm looking here. I'm doing a quick look here. Comments? Well, that's for me to comment. I don't want to why would I want to comment in my own live? So I'm just looking to see settings. I'm looking to see if I can turn off the AI. Otherwise we'll live. But it's just incredibly. Oh, get real-time suggestions. No, from your creator network manager? Oh, that's okay. That's not it. All right, I'm going to skip it. It's just really freaking annoying. Yeah, if I knew how to turn it off, I would, but it's okay. Whoosh, very annoying. Anyway, oh, here it is. Oh, AI-generated content. No? All right, enough of that. All right, that's Nancy Mace. Washington Post. Trump's plan. Trump's plan that he offered Iran tells me we're going to have a land invasion this weekend. Trump's plan is totally undoable by Iran. Totally undoable. Trump has offered a 15-point proposal aimed at ending the war with Iran. Speaking in condition of it, several Middle Eastern said the plan offered extensive sanctions relief to Iran in return for the removal of all of its enriched uranium material and abandoning enrichment process capabilities, limits to Tehran's ballistic missile program, and the cessation of support to militant groups, including Hezbollah, the Houthis, and Hamas. Now, some of this is the Obama plan that Trump threw out, but it's more extreme to the point where people think Iran will never agree to it. And what worries me is, guys, Trump is moving in the 82nd Airborne. There were more reports yesterday. He's moving in ground troops. He's moving in troops whose job it is to invade a country on the ground and have a land invasion. He's doing that at the same time that he's pretending the negotiations are going well, and then we find out that he's bullshitting us, which is what we found out again today. I worry that what's going on is he's planning a ground invasion for this weekend after the markets close, because that's when he likes to do stuff like that, because he doesn't want the stock market to freak out. And he's lying. And by the way, he's putting out a proposal to Iran that he knows Iran cannot accept. Now, that may or may not be a good idea. But in Trump's case, he's doing it because he wants Iran to say no, so he can say, aha, you see, we had to go invade. Well, invade as in boots on the ground. That's what I fear is happening right now. What else do we have here? Thank you, Lisa or Lise, for the crab. Appreciate that. What else do we have here? Iran wants guarantees. Oh yeah, more stuff. Iran wants guarantees against future attacks. International recognition of authority over the Strait of Hormuz, according to state television. Iran state-owned TV says Tehran will end the war at a time of its own choosing. Oh, this was another point. Where is he? The guy here, Robert Kelly. Robert Kelly is the guy who was on BBC or something 10 years ago. And remember, he was in South Korea, I think. And his children, his two young babies, came running into the room after each other. Remember? During COVID. It had to be 6 years ago. It had to be during COVID. So he's Zooming on the BBC as an interview, and the one kid comes in, the other kid comes in, and then like the nanny or his wife, whoever, who's South Korean, comes in and goes, like really dramatic. That great. Well, I follow him on Twitter. He's an analyst of Asia and all this kind of stuff. He wrote this on Twitter today. Robert Kelly. Say we do take Kharg Island. Kharg Island is Iran's big export island. 90% of their exports go through there. Say we do take Kharg Island and a strip of the Iranian side of the Strait of Hormuz and open the strait. So he says, say we take some islands, say we take a little bit of the Iranian coast, and we're able to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. He says, then what? How long do we stay? Won't Iran shut the strait again as soon as we leave? How do we respond when the entire Iranian military descends on these enclaves? Mission creep looms. In other words, if we leave, Iran will say, okay, you sit there as long as you want, and when you leave, we're taking the Strait of Hormuz back and we're closing shipping. Or we've got a bunch of Marines on some islands, and Iran says, now we blow the crap out of you. Then what are we going to do? He said mission creep, meaning what I told you the other day. Oh, well, if they're blowing the crap out of us, now we have to invade further to stop those troops from bombing the islands. But if we invade further, now those troops that invaded further, they get bombed by troops, even by Iranians even further north. So now we got to go further north to stop those Iranians from bombing our troops. But once we go further north, those troops get bombed, so they've got to go, right? It goes on and on and on and keeps growing, right? This is very bad stuff, people. Little more here. Israeli intelligence director says regime change in Iran will take a full year, according to the Jerusalem Post. More confusion at the press conference. This was great. Karoline Leavitt, Trump's obnoxious press secretary today, said at her press conference, she said two different things that made me laugh. The first was, the president's preference is always peace, but if Iran fails to understand that they have been militarily defeated, President Trump will ensure they are hit harder than they have ever been hit before. He does not bluff and is prepared to unleash hell. First of all, he does bluff. He bluffs all the time. He's a pathological liar. He bluffed this weekend when he said we were going to hit Iran's energy production. We were going to hit their energy generators if they didn't reopen the strait. They didn't reopen the strait. And he goes, well, they're negotiating with us, so it's okay. We won't bomb them. And Iran goes, we're not negotiating with you. You're lying. So he totally bluffs. But she says, if Iran fails to understand that they have been defeated militarily, Trump will hit them harder. A couple minutes later, she says, the Iranian regime is looking for an exit ramp. They recognize that they're being crushed. I'm sorry, Karoline. I'm a little confused by your briefing. At one point in your briefing, you said the Iranian regime is looking for an exit ramp because they recognize they are being crushed. You then said later on in the briefing, if Iran fails to understand that they've been defeated, Trump will ensure they'll be hit harder. So which one is it? Has Iran not yet understood that they've been defeated? Or does Iran recognize they're being crushed and they want to talk to us? Which one is it, Karoline? See, the problem, Karoline, is when you start lying. Somebody said this once. I thought it was a wonderful line, but basically, or the concept. If you tell the truth, you don't have to keep track, right? Will you stop, please? I love you, but you got to stop. The dog is whining underneath. I didn't grab treats for her today. That's part of the problem. When you tell the truth, you don't have to keep track, right? Actually, I'm going to grab one second. I'm going to grab a couple little pieces of food to give her while we're talking. It'll keep her at bay. All right, I have a handful of dog food that we're going to slowly dole out to keep the dog at bay. But think about this, right? If you tell the truth, you tell the truth. If you tell the truth about what you did last summer, right? Every time I ask, let's say you went on vacation to California. If you tell the truth about your California vacation, you might forget some details of it. Hey, okay, enough. Right there, grab one more, enough. But it's easy for you every time I ask you, hey, tell me again about your California vacation. It's very easy for you to go, oh, we went to LA, we went to San Francisco, we went to Disneyland, because you went there. If you're lying about it and you didn't go to California, but you lied and said you went to California, every time I ask you about California, it gets more and more confusing because you start to go, oh shit, I'm making this up. Did I say we went to Disneyland? Did I say we saw any movie stars at Disneyland? And now I'm mentioning, like last time I said we saw this movie star, but this time I mentioned a different one. When you lie, you have to keep track. And you have to keep track of the lies. When you're telling the truth, you don't need any memory at all other than remembering what happened, right? So they always, and I love that because it's stuck in my head when somebody had explained that once about the whole notion of, oh, Substack is frozen. Oh, weird. Oh, it looks like it's behind, but it's not frozen. I don't know. Is it still frozen or no, Substack? Is anybody else frozen or no? Substack, Adam is saying he's frozen, but I don't know why it is. It on my end, it looks like it's moving. It doesn't mean it is. Anyway, you get the point. Okay, it's working for, well, TikTok, it should already work anyway. This would be more like YouTube or Discord folks, if any of you are getting anything frozen. But you get the idea, right? If you tell the truth, Judge Judy, oh, is it a Judge Judy line? If you tell the truth, you don't need a good memory. That's funny. Discord died too? Ooh, that's not good. What do you mean Discord died? Let me see. I wonder if Discord's offline. No, Manana and Jeffrey are responding. Discord's fine. Dave, you'd be wrong, Dave. Discord's working fine. Okay, it's back. Okay, it's back. Good. All right, we're back. So you get the idea there. So that's what I'm saying, like Karoline Leavitt saying this stuff. So listen to this, a little more news here. NBC. Listen to this story from NBC, which is a big American media network. Each day since the start of the war in Iran, U.S. military officials compile a video update for President Trump that shows video of the biggest, most successful strikes on Iranian targets over the previous 48 hours, 3 current officials and a former U.S. official said. The daily montage typically runs about 2 minutes, sometimes longer. One described each daily video as a series of clips of stuff blowing up. Right? Overall, the official said, the information Trump gets about the war tends to emphasize U.S. successes with comparatively little detail about Iranian actions. One example came this month when 5 U.S. Air Force refueling planes were hit in an Iranian strike at Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia. Trump wasn't briefed about they didn't tell him. They didn't freaking tell him. Trump wasn't briefed about the strikes, and he learned what happened from media reports. When Trump inquired, he was told the planes weren't badly damaged. The official noted that Trump's briefings tend to draw better feedback from his aides when they focus on U.S. victories. The official said Trump reacted angrily behind the scenes to the news coverage. Publicly, he posted on Truth Social calling coverage of the strike misleading. Oh, the strike misleading, and accused media organizations of wanting the U.S. to lose the war. So, the reason Trump has been going after the media specifically during this war is because his people have been lying to him. They didn't tell him that our planes got hit at the Saudi air base, and he thought the media was lying. That, blows my mind, this story. They've learned that big surprise, they've learned that he reacts better when you give him good news, so they're trying to give him good news. Guys, our troops' lives are on the line. This is a lot of money, but I should say, no, that's B. We have a lot of soldiers and service members whose lives are on the line fighting for us. And the number one priority should be doing this war right so we don't get them killed, right? No. 2, we're spending a shitload of money, probably $50 billion already on this war, right? And he wants $200 billion for this war. We owe it to us to also execute the war well so we're not wasting money. He's not getting real briefings on the war. By the way, this happened at the beginning of his administration, too. Yeah, Luke, nothing we can do about it. You got to turn up your volume. My volume is way loud, actually, on Facebook. Sorry about that, but the volume is super loud already. It's actually a little too loud. So if it's not any louder, then it's just being evil. There's nothing I can do about it. Sorry about that. At the beginning of his administration, we found out the president gets a daily briefing called the Presidential Daily Briefing. It's like super duper high level intelligence. It's about what's happening around the world, right? And it's super, literally, the CIA gives it to you, and it's a briefing every morning to say, okay, today's Wednesday. Here's what's happening around the world. Here's what our intelligence is telling us, right? Trump didn't like the briefings. There were too many of them. Well, they were every morning. You're the president of the United States. You have to be briefed on what's happening in the world. Trump was bored. So they decided to only do the briefings a couple times a week. Mind you, the whole point is you're the president of the United States. You need to know what's going on in the world today. No, he only wanted to know what was going on in the world a couple times a week because he got bored. The second thing, you remember this one, the second thing was Trump thought the briefings had too many words in them. And he wanted pictures. So they had to rearrange the briefings to cut back on the words and give him a lot of pictures because he reacted better to pictures than to words because words were boring. So put that in context of this right now and how he's doing with this, right? Put it in the context of this and you get a sense of what's going on. It's crazy. I really do need to take a picture of this AI thing and see if I can turn it off. I think it's something that I've got to figure out. Hang on, guys. I'm going to take a picture of what I'm seeing on TikTok so I can show somebody later and hopefully turn it off later because it's driving me insane. Oops, there we go. That one will work. All right. Oh, actually, I can even show you guys. Hold on. I will show you what I'm seeing on TikTok and why it's driving me crazy. All right. Every single person, it's saying, give them a shout out, give them a shout out, give them a shout out. It's like having somebody nag me, but every comment you guys are making or everything, it's throwing a thing after it's ordering me to give you a shout out. It's blurry, but you can see how every comment, it then says, give them a shout out, give them a shout out. It's like being yelled at. Exactly, please shout me out. It's so annoying. And it's some AI thing that TikTok created that went, the AI went a little crazy. This is when the AI starts to learn to launch the missiles, basically. When it's like, okay, what are you doing, AI? But anyway, scary stuff. All right, next up. Oil is down slightly, as I said. That's good. U.S. gasoline prices are up slightly, another penny to $3.99 a gallon for regular on average. BlackRock's Larry Fink was giving an interview and said, if Iran seriously, you're driving me bonkers here, dog. What do you want from me? Jeez. Every 5 minutes she wants to go outside just to walk around. BlackRock's Larry Fink. If Iran remains a threat after the bombing stops, there could be years of above $100, closer to $150 oil, which has profound implications in the economy and an outcome of a probably stark and steep recession. He's not saying it will, but he's saying we're at a risk of that. Pete Hegseth's pastor and close spiritual advisor says he wants Texas Democratic State Representative James Talarico to die. Talarico is running for the U.S. Senate in Texas and could very likely win. Quote, we want him crucified with Christ, Brooks Pottinger said of Talarico. As the podcast host said, he prays that God kills him. That's nice. And this guy is the pastor and spiritual advisor to our Secretary of Defense. That's lovely. Venezuela's chief torturer has taken over the military. Venezuela just appointed their chief torturer to take over the military. This is relevant for a couple different reasons. Trump, as we know, has an affinity for dictators. He now is sucking up to the dictator of Belarus. That's it, and Belarus is a particularly bad dictatorship. He likes them. Venezuela, right? We go in, we take out a bad guy. They're Marxists. They're dictators. They put a new Marxist dictator in charge. He's okay with it in Venezuela because she's giving him money. She's giving him oil and stuff. Actually giving him gold. She gave us some gold. So he's okay with it because they're giving us stuff. So Venezuela is still run by a dictatorship. He doesn't care anymore. Belarus, run by a dictatorship. He doesn't care. Russia, run by a dictator. Doesn't care. Hungary, run by a wannabe dictator, doesn't care. Turkey, the same thing. And now we've got Belarus, like I said. Iran. At one point, he even said about Iran, they said, well, are you okay with a religious government? He goes, I don't really care. They can still run it. I just want someone we can work with. He doesn't mind if Iran remains the theocratic, murderous dictatorship it's always been, as long as they give us stuff. That's the problem with him. I would say it goes beyond he doesn't mind. It's not a glitch, it's a feature. He likes dictators. We know this. He likes authoritarian governments. He likes when they do crap like this. Just very scary stuff. So the notion that in Venezuela now, the chief torturer of the government has now been appointed to take over the military. Things are not getting better. He doesn't care if things get better. A few more stories. Iran impact. 30-year mortgage rates have jumped above 7% again in America. Mortgage rates were just dropping to below 6%, and then Trump invaded Iran, and now they're over 7%. Yay! A new Reuters poll, 36% approval for Trump, 62% disapprove overall. Cost of living, he's underwater 41 on cost of living, underwater 27 on foreign policy. That means how much more negative than positive in the polls. A new low on foreign policy, a new low on immigration, a new low on the economy. He's at only 29% support on the economy now. On the economy, Trump's approval is now lower than Joe Biden's approval on the economy at any point in Biden's presidency. So, hey, come on, you. I know. Here you go. Here you go. All right. Come on, you. Like I said, I feel bad because she doesn't see very well anymore. So whenever I try to like help her come in, she gets confused. She comes to my window instead of my door, and I'm like, over here. And then she can't hear. So I'm like, over here. So sorry about that. I have to keep helping the dog. So Trump's approval on the economy is now worse than Joe Biden's at any point of Biden's presidency. Last night we had a number of elections in the U.S. The Democrats did very well. Trump's handpicked people did very badly, including in areas that were pro-Trump, including Mar-a-Lago, his own, new home in Florida. So that was very interesting because it continued a trend showing that Democrats are doing incredibly well in every election and Republicans are not. That's good news for the fall. We have our congressional elections in the fall. Little Ukraine news. The largest Russian oil terminal is burning in the port of Ust-Luga. Ukraine attacked Russia with around 400 kamikaze drones last night. 40% of Russia's oil export capacity is offline now. 40% of Russia's oil export capacity is offline because of a combination of Ukrainian attacks and Europeans seizing tankers that were illegally taking Russian oil, which almost makes up for the doubling in oil prices. Oil prices doubled, and the Russians were making twice as much money. Well, they may have lost half of their oil, basically, which is great. So now at least that extra money Russia was making has now been cut back to where they were before, so that's good. Finally, MS Now reports Trump had a business motive for keeping classified documents Jack Smith found. Remember the classified documents case? Trump stole the classified documents. Jack Smith was the special prosecutor. The special counsel's team found Donald Trump held on to documents that were so secret, only 6 people in the U.S. could legally review them. They were so top secret that there were only 6 people, including the president, who were allowed to see these documents. Smith's team believed Trump's reason for holding the documents was personal gain. He somehow planned to use the documents to make money and kept them. The best part is the documents were revealed because Trump's team was trying to defend him. They're trying to defend him on all of these cases still because Trump wants to exonerate himself. And they gave Democrats in Congress some documents to try to say, oh, see, these cases were all bullshit of accusing Trump of stealing documents. They included some documents by accident that totally incriminated Trump. And I forgot whether it was Adam Schiff or somebody else who wrote and said, they wrote back to the administration and said, well, this is really interesting. You accidentally gave me some documents that just suggested your boss stole classified information because he wanted to benefit financially from it. So that story is actually quite funny because of what it shows. I mean, it's not funny, of course, but it is kind of funny too. Oh, was it Raskin? Thank you. It was Raskin, Alexis. I knew it was somebody. I knew it was about Adam Schiff. Yeah. Raskin was a Democrat from New York in the House. Oh my God. Still showing me that crazy, give them a hello, give them a hello, give them a hello. Oh my God. Anyway. All right, guys. So yeah, let's hang. I've got another 20 minutes and then I've got to start getting ready. There's a Greek Independence Day dinner or buffet or whatever at the Greek embassy that should be really nice tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. So that will be nice. Otherwise, good. Okay, the dog, are you being... Oh, she's got her water. Good. She hadn't finished her water yet. That's good. That's good. So yes, so that's what we're doing. So we'll hang another 20 minutes and go from there. Oh my God, give them a shout out. I really have to figure out how to stop this. There's no way to stop it. Yeah, there's literally no way to stop it. Feedback. No, I'm trying. There's nothing. Sound effects? Nope, that's not it either. No, there's no way to stop it. Thank you, Max. Oh, that's a very nice gift, Max. Thank you for that. Anyway, I'm going to sit back and relax while we talk. So anyway, oh my God. Yeah, so this war thing, you know, as I said, what I'm worried about is we cannot trust, oh, no new plants, nope. We cannot trust what Trump is telling us about the war, obviously. Hang on, adjusting my camera, there we go. We cannot trust what he's telling us about the war. And I'm not convinced there are sincere negotiations going on. It's possible, but I also think he's planning on a ground invasion. He is. The question is whether in the end we do it, but the Saudis are telling him to do it. The Israelis are telling him to do it. It's very bad. Are Republicans complicit with what? But that's the problem. As Jedi said, they had no plan. They had no plan, and I think they still don't have a plan. They're winging it. They're winging it day to day. And Michael, what's Michael's last name? It's not Weiss. Is it Weiss? He's very good. He's a defense guy, L.A. based. I think it's Michael Weiss, L.A. based now. Very good defense guy. And he was saying, a little bit more. He was saying that you've got to think of this like TV. Oh, did you drop it? Here. You've got to think of this like television. And Trump is Mr. Television, right? And every day there's a new plot twist and all of that. And I think he's right. And I told him, I said, thank you, Elaine. I still think it looks like a big tooth. I think it's almost worse than that. This is one of those TV shows. Battlestar Galactica was like this, actually. Linda, I agree with you, Linda. Battlestar Galactica was like this. And the new Battlestar Galactica, by the end of the second year, maybe beginning of third year, it was clear that the guy directing the show was winging it. He would change the plot and you'd go, what the hell are you doing? And you could tell they were just winging. Soap operas do this sometimes, where you just know there isn't a long plot arc going on. They didn't really plot out the season, right? And you can tell because stuff just starts going back and forth, right? And what worries me is I think he does like to think of things in a TV way, but I think he thinks of it in a soap opera TV way where every day you go, oh, let's give them cancer today. No, tomorrow it's a brain tumor. No, tomorrow it was all a dream, right? And he's every day just doing this, thinking it's okay if every day you change your mind and you flip-flop and you do this and you lie today and you lie tomorrow. Yeah, it's very dangerous. Very freaking dangerous. So anyway, oh my God, give them a shout out. I swear to God, I've got, that picture should be good enough at least for me to, I'm trying to get that, oh, there we go. I'm going to get the crazy shout out stuff so I can, that should be enough. All right. I want to be able to like show some people later who work with me on TikTok stuff so I can show them this and say, what the F is this? Crazy ass shout out crap. Man, anyway, all right. Well, now it's going, now, oh, there it is. Oh, yep, one more. Now it's going a little more slowly. There we go. That's probably good enough. Okay. Yep, that does it. That does it. Anyway, so we got a couple more minutes, guys. As I said, started early today because I'm going to the Greek embassy for a reception for Greek Independence Day. My people. So we're doing 3 hours early today. Not a little bit early, 3 hours early. So thank you for joining us. Please keep the gifts coming on TikTok. We got another 15 minutes maybe 10. I may end early just to get ready. But what do you guys think? What do you think is going on with the war? I mean, does honestly anybody? Do people think the negotiations are real? I have a sense like maybe they're real, but he's lying about them at the same time. You know what I mean? Like they're clearly not going as well as he's claiming. Oh, thank you. Who was that? Was that Max? Thank you, Max. Woo! Very nice gift from Max. Woo! Thank you, Max. That was a really nice one. Thank you for that. Well, there was a report yesterday that the Iranians said they only wanted to talk to Vance. They didn't want to talk to Witkoff and what's his face, Kushner, because remember JD Vance was the one who supposedly didn't want to go to war, so they want to negotiate with the guy who doesn't want to go to war. One Up Moral says, I wonder if he's talking to just some rando in Iran thinking it's a leader. That's the big concern. That's one of the concerns. He's talking to like whoever, and it's not somebody who's in charge. At the same time, pretending, because he's such a here's the problem too. He's such a pathological liar that people are like taking him at his word, and Trump's word means nothing. So that we're getting the updates on what's going on in Iran from him. He lies, and his people lie. So it's like, okay. Like, I still can't believe the markets believe him. That's the thing that blows my mind, that they actually believe this stuff, you know? And they do. He says the positive stuff, and then the markets do better, and the oil prices come down. I mean, I'm glad, I guess, the oil prices are coming down, but it kind of cracks me up they're coming down because they believe him, you know? Anyway. Everyone gets amnesia in soap operas. Exactly. He's going to get amnesia next. Anyway. Well, that's the other thing. Dave says, I don't think there's a single person in the Trump administration that will tell him anything Trump doesn't want to hear. That's the thing. Like, I mean, well, honestly, but I think about it. I mean, my boss in the Senate, Ted Stevens, was very difficult. You kind of didn't have a choice but to tell him, but you didn't want to give him bad news. But it was uncomfortable doing it. But you didn't have a choice, right? The boss at the UN, forget it. She was a witch. She was just a freaking witch and a bully. She would be a perfect example of a boss where you really don't want to give her bad news because she just forget it. You would try to fix it without telling her because she was such a disaster of a boss, of a manager. So yeah, but for Trump to be, which the reports were, that he gets happy briefings about the war, but I love that. Iran attacks and damages 5 U.S. aircraft at a Saudi airbase. They don't tell Trump about it because he doesn't like bad news. So he then watches TV news and sees a report about 5 of our aircraft getting hit and says, that's a lie. They didn't tell me. I would have gotten that in my briefing. So clearly it was a lie that the media is claiming this. And it's like his own people wouldn't want to give him the bad news. I mean, it's really amazing. That's the question. Jeffrey says, if the Saudis and other Middle Eastern countries want the U.S. to put boots on the ground, are they going to join us on the ground? Yeah, good question. Justin at Substack, Trump is offering all stick and no carrot, plus who would trust liars? See, this is the bigger problem for Trump with Iran. He's a pathological liar. Even if, thank you, Oklahoma, even if he were to reach even if he were to reach an honest agreement with Iran, meaning he actually means what he says, he signs an agreement with Iran, and he really does mean to agree to what he agrees to, Trump, he'll change his mind next week. He'll just change his mind next week. Like he did to the Europeans on the trade stuff. He reached all the trade agreements with you guys. They were going to the Brits, and then for the EU people, it was going through the process of the EU, ratifying these trade agreements, and then he fucked you over because he got mad about something else, and he decided to Greenland, whatever it was, he decided to go back and put more tariffs on, even though you had reached a trade agreement. There is no promise that you can expect him to keep. Maybe he will, maybe he won't, because his word means nothing. And by the way, Trump was famous for this. Trump was famous for basically taking on debt. And the debt could be the plumber and not paying and then saying, I'm not going to pay you. If you go to court It'll cost, like, imagine you're a plumber. I'm not going to pay you. If you go to court, it'll cost you $2,000 to get $200 bill from me. What I'll do instead, I'll pay you $100. And then we're going to call it even. And you're going to write me a note that says I paid you in full. And he would do this all the time to people he owed money to. He would just be like, no, it's going to cost you more to get the money. It'll cost you 10 years and blah, blah, blah. So that's what he would do, you know? And I think it's the same thing with Iran and everybody else. He reaches a deal with you. And in the end, if he needs to screw you, he'll screw you. And right? And what are you going to do? You need the deal or whatever it was with Trump that you made, you know? Hey, Michael, I'm going to see what you had said. I did see what you said when I was talking. It's corruption. Trump makes money off the war. Saudis and everybody else funnel him and his companies and son-in-law money, and they want war. Treasonous bets on stock market manipulation, $500 million off of one bet. Yeah. I mean, what I would hope was, I hated the third, when he had, Michael saying he didn't believe me on Battlestar Galactica. Read the interview with what's-his-face, who was the creator. He admitted it. When he gave her cancer in like the third season, he goes, we were halfway through the season, and I thought, let's give her cancer. So he goes, and everyone on the set was like, what do you mean? No, we're going to give her cancer. And they said, and at the same time, there was this 13th colony that were the religious people. He got bored of that. They had this whole story arc of Battlestar Galactica, a whole story arc of the 13th tribe, not 13th tribe, but the 13th planet or whatever it was, or the 12th one that were Ron Moore, exactly. The ones that were the religious people, remember, because her religious advisor lady was from there? It was part of a whole plot. He threw it out halfway through the season because he changed his mind. So don't tell me Ron Moore didn't improvise. Find the interview of when she got cancer. He totally pulled it out of his ass in the middle of the season, and he admitted, yeah, the writers and everybody were kind of mad at me because I just kind of changed everything. Anyway, but it was like third season. We won't go on about Battlestar Galactica, but third season pissed me off. Anyway, another couple of minutes, guys, and then I'm going to go. I have to iron my shirt. I hate ironing shirts. I have a lifestyle that I don't have to iron shirts anymore. I am not going to be on at 6. I'm going to be drinking ouzo and eating good Greek food at 6. So I will not be on. Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh, anyway. Yeah, that's a total spam account. That's a total freaking spam account. Yeah, you're going away. Goodbye. Yeah. And by the way, I love that some scam account pretending to be a Republican member of Congress comes and says, hello, American. Because, you know, every day Americans walk around and greet each other by saying, hello, American. I love these people. That's the one saving grace of all of these foreign trolls who are trying to scam us. None of them speak English. Hello, American. The traditional American greeting, by the way. Hello, American. I freaking love that. That was fabulous. Hello, American. Yeah, especially members of Congress. I mean, not to mention, do you live in a country where they say that? I mean, hello, Frenchman. I mean, who does that? There must be some country where they're from where that's what they say. I don't know. I mean, exactly. Well, be careful. Anybody else repeating it, the mods are going to think you're one of them. Yeah, hello, fellow kids. Yeah, it's something out of The Simpsons, right? Oh, man. Yeah, this AI thing, I'm going to have to report this when we're done. Oh, my God. This AI thing is horrific. Can I touch it and make it go away? No. Definitely can't touch it and make it go away. That's clearly not happening. I'm trying to find... No, these are guest requests. All right. Nope, these are just guest requests. Yeah, there's no way for me to make it go away. How crazy. Anyway. Like I said, there's some weird AI thing on TikTok that's showing me with almost every comment, it's showing me a suggestion. Say hello, do a shout out. But to every single comment, I get a whole other line that says do a shout out. And I'm trying to like follow the comments from people, and it's driving me insane. Yeah, there's no... Yeah, there's literally, and it's not under setting. God only knows. I'm going to turn this off. Maybe this, hold on, is that it? I think I may have turned it off. No, I didn't turn it off. It's still doing it, you fuckers. You motherfuckers. I didn't turn it off. Never mind. All right. Well, I thought I did. I didn't. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right. Well, TikTok. Turn off the AI generation chat that you mentioned. Yeah, what is that? I mean, duh, but what is that? There was something the other day that was some AI generation thing, but this was the other day. I don't know where the hell it is now. I vaguely remember that, but it's not, there's no setting on the screen. I already pulled them up. There's literally no setting to pull anything up. Yeah, I'm looking right here. Nada, 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 limonada. Yeah. Ain't nothing here. Ain't nothing here. I know, when I drop the F-bomb, the guest request shouldn't make a difference. These aren't guest requests. It's literally giving me AI suggestions to give a shout out to nearly every person who comments so that I get an extra line with a stupid AI thing. And I'm trying to read the comments on TikTok and it's bullshit line, real text, bullshit line, real text. And I've got to read all the bullshit to read your comments. And it's literally like messing with my head at this point, having to read all the bullshit stuff. Anyway, it's driving me a little crazy here. It also is insisting that I invite like half of you as guests. I'm like, oh my God, stop. Yeah, if somebody knows how to turn off the AI generator, I'm happy to oblige. Otherwise, we're going to go in a minute here. So good to see everybody. But yes, we're early today because I've got to go do the Greek thing today, go to Greek embassy. That may not have been said very Greek, but so there. So there. Anything else? Anything else? Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I haven't been at an event like this in a while, actually. But they typically have very good food. Well, that's not true. I went to an event a month ago that was good. It was appetizers, but it was still very good Greek appetizers. This will be on YouTube later. It's on YouTube right now. So you can go to YouTube and watch it right now if you want. But yeah, it's they're holding it at a different place that's bigger. But yeah, it's the official embassy. It'll be nice. And actually, I should see people I know. I always forget the Greeks I know in town because I'm always like, oh, yeah. So there should be other people I know at the event. So exactly. Lots of spanakopita, chicken, potatoes, pasticcio, I hope. No, it should be a lot of good keftedes. Oh, my God. I'm very much looking forward to this. It'll be good food. I'm going to pig out. My friend wanted to go later, and I was like, don't go later. We need to go, depending when the food is served, I said, you need to go early because my mistake is going to events later. And then you get there and then they start speaking. So all of a sudden you have to stop eating, but you only just got food, and then you can't get enough food. So I was like, no. We have to go early enough to be able to get food and Anyway. All right, guys, I think we may call it quits. Yeah, you'll watch Sasha. I know. I told you, Sasha may herself go on later when I'm gone. You never know. She's treacherous that way. Oh, this is cute. Now she's finally calming down. She's so funny. She's like half laying inside her bed, and part of her is on the floor and part of her is on the bed. Hold on. I don't know why this is comfortable. This is apparently comfortable to a dog. I don't know, but she's in the bed, but her head is out of the bed, it's actually laying on her leg. This looks like her head is up, but her head is not up. Her head is actually laying down. She's sleeping, but she's kind of like half in the bed, half not. The dog in bed positions always crack me up. The other day, I'm going to see if I sent this to my sister. It cracked me up the other day because I'm like getting ready for bed and I move some pillows around. Like I try to block it out because she always steals my side of the bed. She's small, but she still steals my side of the bed. So I go and here it is. I go and I set up the bed and I intentionally put a pillow to block her. So I can show you. So I've got my pillow and another pillow and I've got a little area I put her on so she'll sleep here because I'm going to sleep over here, right? Watch TV and then sleep. So I go to the bathroom and brush my teeth. I come out. She's climbed in the middle of my pillows and fallen asleep in the middle of my pillows, all of them, where I sleep as well. So she's not just she's not just in the middle of the pillows. She's in the middle of the pillows on my side of the bed. So, which is very cute. And where I'm pointing to is where I put her, and she normally sleeps, and I block her with the pillow. She's like, no, I'd rather be in the middle of the pillows on your side of the bed. I mean, it's very cute. I mean, like I said, she's a pain in the ass, but she's a very cute pain in the ass. But I just love that she did that. I'm like, she just moved over to my side, was like, I'm just piling into the middle of, it was like, pile in the pillows, you know, like a, whatever it would be, like a, you know, her own harem. And she's got, you know, all the pillows piled on top of each other, you know, cracks me up. Anyway, it was very close. But yeah, so I was like, fine. So I started to watch Game of Thrones again. So I was able to get to the edge of my bed and go against my pillows and watch TV for an hour with her right there. And finally I was like, move. So I did move her in the end because I did have to get to sleep, but it was very cute. So anyway, it was very funny. All right, guys, I'm going to go now. Actually, well, now we almost are at the regular time. But, oh, not sworn in. No. I don't get sworn in for another month or two. This is just the Greek Independence Day tonight. But yes, I just quick little update again. If people didn't hear, my Greek citizenship application was accepted. It passed. So there's a little procedural thing. It has to get published in the Greek Federal Register. There's a Greek Federal Register, basically, that you get published in. And then after that, I'll get sworn in. So I could be sworn in as a Greek in the next month or two. And then there's a little bit of procedure to get a passport. That could take 2 or 3 months more. But I could be a citizen in a month or two. So very exciting. Hope is on the horizon. Me and Kimberly Guilfoyle. People apparently, I will say this, talking to Greeks, they seem to think she's doing a good job as ambassador. So who knows, you know? I mean, I'm glad they do. Better than not. Thanks, Michael. Better than not, right? But Guilfoyle's the ambassador there, and you know, remember Don Trump Jr.'s girlfriend or former girlfriend. But apparently she's doing a good job, so you know, good enough. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. Thank you for joining us today, guys. I've got to go iron my shirt, which I really hate doing. I'm going to steam it, but same difference. Not happy. So Discord. Good night to you guys first. Thank you for coming early, and thank you, Amanda and Jens and everybody for helping, and Ash for helping out. All right, you guys, TikTok, you're last. YouTube and Substack and everybody, you're next. Bye, guys.